Hey everybody, Tim and Miranda here for Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yep.
So technically the third movie, well it is the third movie that came out.
Yeah.
Came out in 2006.
Yep.
But in chronological order, it is the sixth movie. So because...
Which I didn't know until obviously now, so.
Yeah. Which, I mean, spoilers, the movie's like over 10 years old. Han dies. So this movie came out first. It was the introduction to Han. It was basically because the second movie did not do well at all. So this was kind of like can we do things different? And then this movie did not do well. But this movie kind of like changed things.
Well, I feel like that this movie did get people like a little more interested. Just based off the movie itself, just based, like, if you went and saw this without seeing the first two or anything, not knowing anything about it, I feel like it would do really well.
I agree with that.
Like, without the storyline.
So part of me thinks that this is literally the success of this franchise. I think Justin Lin, directed this. And then he directed the next one, Fast and Furious 4. And because, like... That's one of the things I've complained about, especially in the second movie.
Yeah.
Where it was the zoom-in shots. Like, even with the story of the second one, I don't like how it was filmed.
Yep.
Whereas this movie was filmed really well.
Yeah.
And then once we got, like, the entire cast back for the fourth movie, on top of the directing, I think it just kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
So for this one, love it, hate it. It's kind of in the middle for me. Sean, I think his name is Sean. Lucas Black. I loved him from Sling Blade. Like, he's been a child actor for a long time. Most recently, he was like in CSI. I don't remember which one. Like Las Vegas or something. I don't know. But he was like, he's been kind of famous for a while. So like I said, so this movie came out, it introduced the character of Han, and then people loved him so much that, like I said, Justin Lin directed the fourth movie. Han's in it.
Yep.
And so everybody's like, oh, so the fourth one's before the third one. Got it. And then they came out with the fifth movie, and everybody's like, I still really like Han. Because Han's only in, like, the first, like, 10 minutes of the fourth movie. That's it. He's in all of, like, the fifth and sixth one, though. Because everybody loves Han. Yeah. Like, he's so adorable.
He is.
And, he's a great character.
And he's just funny, like, him and his snacks all the time and stuff. Like, it's just funny, because he's always snacking.
I don't want chips. Yep. So overall, for me, I like this movie. I don't think it's terrible. It's so cliche.
I don't think it's terrible. I do think it's cliche.
The bad boy gets sent to live with his dad that has hookers and...
Okay, that's the only thing that you remember about his dad, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like I said, like, if you just watch this one by itself, like, without watching any other one and stuff, like, you would just think it was a good movie based on, like, the drifting and stuff like that, and just the small amount of plot that you get from this. But then once you get to the end, it doesn't make sense, because you're like, who the fuck is this bitch? So,
quick side story. Have you ever been, like, writing something down and somebody's talking to you and you start writing what they're saying rather than what I don't know why Low Belly's in the notes. Unless somebody was talking about Low Belly.
Oh! That's adorable.
Other than, like, I was typing and somebody said something about Low Belly, which is my dog. My dog's in this movie, evidently.
It's cool.
With
the Hulk car, apparently.
Yeah, which like I said, this movie came out in 2006, and I've always heard stories of Japan. Like, oh, their hotels? Like, you don't get a hotel room. You get, like, a tube that you sleep in, because there's so many people in Japan. Yeah. And, like, just the cars rotating. I was like, that's bitchin'. Loved it. And then, of course...
It's actually hella dope, so...
You know what? That's not supposed to say Low Belly. That's supposed to say Lil Bow Wow.
Oh, Bow Wow. I'm so proud of you.
But my computer knows me so well that it was like, oh, you mean Low Belly. So Lil Bow Wow's in this, who I think this was already on his decline in popularity. Probably. I mean, not to be negative. I know he's still out there doing whatever it is he does, but it happens. But... I love his car, though.
But yeah, like, at the beginning of this one with the fucking blonde chick that's like, oh, winner gets me. Bitch, no one wants you.
That movie set women back, like, 10 years.
I was just like, bitch, hell no.
Which, it's the blonde kid who's the older brother from Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's like, Lucas Black is like, I only race for pink slips. And he's like, this is an $80,000 car, and you got, like, a fucking hoopta. or Hoopy, whatever.
Like, what am I gonna do with a piece of shit like that?
Yeah, and so when his little girlfriend's like, well, the winner gets me. So you just called yourself a prostitute for one, and you set women back 10 years.
Bitch.
Got it. Yeah,
no
thanks.
One wants you. No one wants you.
And then when they're racing, and she's like, I thought you loved me. What? No. Probably my favorite moment is after they crash and everything.
And then they still lose.
Well, and then Sean technically wins, and like they're in the hospital or whatever, and he like smiles at her, and his teeth are all bloody and shit. Yeah, that's great. I was like, that's
and like
great.
Winks and everything, and yeah,
that's great.
And then the other really good one-liner is when Lil Bow Wow and Sean are in the elevator.
DK stand for?
And he's like, "What's DK stand for?" And he's like, Donkey Kong? And he's like, Drift King.
So the best part of that whole moment, and then when he's like, well, what's drift? And he's like, here's a 30-second explanation. Yep. My husband Jordan, who has never seen this movie, sticks his head in the living room at that exact moment. Boom! Crash in the car, and he's like,
so sad.
I know, like Jordan, the car lover's just like, what is happening right now?
And we even said that, we're like, oh, the Mona Lisa's fucked up. And he's like, the Mona Lisa. I'm like, yep.
That's an ugly painting. Let's be real.
Okay, but that car is, like, I think it was just based on
is it a Supra? What is it?
It's not a Supra.
I don't know what kind of car it is.
It's a Supra?
The most tragic moment, so for you especially, I'm curious, watching these in chronological order, how did Han's death affect you?
I was really upset because like I've said before, like I think Han's character in general is super cute, super cool, super quirky and fun.
I want to interrupt.
And stuff.
So the first time you saw this movie and you saw Han die versus this is his fourth appearance and him dying.
Well, because like
did they affect you
I don't
differently?
think a little bit, just based off because I've seen him in more movies now. Because like I said before, like I hadn't seen 4 and 5 and 6 and whatever. And so just going in actual chronological order and seeing him in shut up. Chronological. I can't say that when I'm sober. Like what? No.
So okay, keep going. Go.
But just seeing him in more now and like seeing that like character development and stuff instead of just seeing him in this. Like it does make a big difference. It's like, why the fuck did you kill him off? I'm
with you 100%. Yeah. So the first time I ever saw this, so like I said, I didn't even see Fast and the Furious until 2011.
Is this like another Letty thing though? Does he actually die?
Yes, he's dead. So like I said, I mentioned in a different video, I did not watch any of these movies until 2011. And so I binged them all, and then I don't know, some way I'll be realistic with you. When Han died and the first time I saw it, I was just like, I mean, it's sad, but I was like, oh, BFD. Like, okay, moving on. It's a character, whatever. Because I didn't care about this movie. Yeah. Because it doesn't have Dom, it doesn't have Brian, like, it doesn't have anybody. Yep. And I was like, it's just, whatever. It's interesting, but whatever. But then watching them, especially in chronological order like we're doing, I do feel more of a connection with Han. And especially with him,
character development.
Him and Giselle, especially, like, they're so cute. And like you said, like, him because what is the fifth or sixth movie where he's eating chips, and she's like, she just psychoanalyzes him, like, oh, you used to be a smoker because you're used to that movement, and blah, blah, blah.
I'm gonna guess 2 packs a day, blah, blah, blah. Like,
and it's great. And then when you watch this movie that takes place after that, and he's still, like, this boy always has fucking chips. And I'm like, watching this first, never got that. Never noticed it, never picked up on it. So,
like, I also feel like they did that just because Giselle died. Like, they're like, oh, Giselle died, so we're gonna kill off Han in the next one.
I mean,
after he goes to Tokyo, like, he's always talked about, so.
Yeah, because he brought it up every fucking time we saw him. Yeah. So that's about it for this. And then the big twist, what a twist, at the end with, I love Robot Chicken. With Vin Diesel showing up as Dominic Toretto. And they have some, again, like, it's weird, like, keeping it in my mind, like, that they're out of order, where he's like, oh, I got this car from Han a few years ago, and he's like, and he's like, I didn't know Han drove, like, American Muscle. Well, he did when he was with me. Now we've seen some of those adventures. So, which I think it would have been a little bit better. Like, I don't know shit about cars. But if Dom had been driving whatever car Han was in, like, the sixth movie.
I feel like he was in...
Like, I don't know.
He wasn't... I don't feel like he was in a muscle car.
I don't
in
think
the
so
sixth
either.
movie. I want to say it was like
Dom has always been the one that's always in the muscle cars.
Yeah.
But, like, whatever the last scene we see in, like, the sixth movie, like, I wish that had been the car that Dom was in. To me, that just would have been a little better. But still, it was
more sentimental. It
was fun to see Vin Diesel again, though. It was great.
Which, of course, we had to bring it up because I asked him again, what kind of car is that? And
it's a Supra?
No, his instant response was,
it's a Dodge Charger. Because that's all he drives. And then we didn't really talk about it in the last video purposely, but in the post-credit scene for Fast and Furious 6, I just lost his name. What's the actor? Jason Statham. Jason Statham shows up. He doesn't say who he is, so I won't ruin that. But Jason Statham shows up killing Han, which, like, when you see Han die in this movie, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But then when you try to retcon it that Jason Statham purposely T-boned him
and you're like,
car. Okay, whatever. But, I mean, it's setting it up for the next movie, so we'll talk about it more for the next one, but...
Which I'm excited to watch it.
How do you feel about going from the 6 to Tokyo Drift? And how do you feel about seeing Jason...
Like I said, like, this is a good movie, but at the same time, like, they could have done without it, honestly. Like, it didn't need
this whole movie?
Yeah, they didn't really need to put it in the series.
Okay.
They didn't. Like, it's a good movie by itself. On its own. Like, they could have done something else with Han and figured all that out. But, like, because are any of the other characters from this one, from Tokyo Drift, and the rest of them?
I'm not telling you that. We're just going to watch it. How do you feel about the Jason Statham setting up the next one? Like,
yeah, it's a little...
We both really like Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So, like... To me, that's kind of what it reminded me of. Was like, hey, we're doing another one.
Yeah.
Little dimples going on.
I'm excited for it. But
knowing Jason Statham is the next villain, obviously.
Yeah. But it gave me a lot of Taken vibes, which is not Jason Statham. It's
Dominic Toretto. Yeah. You don't know who I am, but I know who you are, and you're about to know who I am.
Kill you. Like, that's totally what it... Like,
which I've never seen the Taken movies.
Oh, you haven't?
No. I get the joke, and I've seen like the memes of Liam Neeson. Yeah. I will find you and I will kill you.
But that's totally instantly what I thought of when he got on the phone and was like, you don't know me, but... And I'm just like...
You will.
What?
Yeah.
Shut up.
And I've seen a lot of Jason Statham movies. I don't think I'm saying his name right, but it's okay. I'm drinking.
No, you are Jason Statham.
To me, he just seems like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Like he always
like
plays.
He would be a villain.
Yeah, he always plays a badass and everything, but I always feel like you just be like, "Hi, Jason."
Like it's like when The Rock plays in the movie The Tooth Fairy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but he's like that big like teddy bear, like, this is my daughter, hey.
Yeah, but like I don't know. Jason always just seems like he'd be the sweetest guy in real life.
Yeah,
like
probably
couldn't hurt a fly type thing. But okay, closing thoughts for Tokyo Drift.
No.
Only 2 more after this.
We're caught up. It's weird. We went through these really quick.
Yep. Okay. That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So for those who've seen Tokyo Drift, it's a love it or hate it. I feel like not many people are kind of in the middle, which is exactly where I am. Like, I don't love it or hate it. I'm just like, eh.
Same.
If I'm like, we're doing this binge, I'm not going to skip over it, but I'm not like super excited either. So for those who have seen Tokyo Drift, what did you guys think? Go ahead, let us know. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We'll see you guys next time for the actual 7th movie, Furious 7.